Mystery shows have made quite the comeback in the past few years, from smash hits like Severance to under-the-radar fan favorites like From. So when I heard MGM was making a new series based on a Stephen King novel, I was like,
oh my god, we gotta watch this!
So get ready to take on the mysteries of the Institute and how an extraordinary group of imprisoned kids just might be saving the world. The Institute follows Luke Ellis, a gifted 14-year-old who's so smart his principal is thinking of sending him to MIT. But Luke doesn't yet know he's hiding a latent ability, that of telekinesis. In the first episode, we'll see him inadvertently flip this pizza tray. Yeah, it's not like lifting a building or anything, but we'll get to that in a bit. These abilities start off small, but as we'll soon discover, they can be developed in ways that can change the course of history. That's where the Institute comes in. Unbeknownst to Luke, he's being watched. The Institute has a team known as Snatchers who kidnap children they believe have these powers. And when you find out what they do to these kids, you'll understand why they need to be taken by force. All Luke really remembers is falling asleep and waking up in a room identical to his own. There's just one problem. He's a prisoner in a facility mysteriously known as the Institute. To the outside world, the building passes as an infectious disease lab, with strict security included patrolled guards. It's all a front for the horrors that await within. It's here we meet Miss Sigsbee, the woman in charge of the Institute, and she makes it very clear how important their work is.
Without our work, the world as we know it would cease to be.
Like Luke, we the viewer are given only snippets of information, having to piece together a mystery that has implications for all of humanity. Luke is told that his parents know where he is, and that as long as he does what he's told, he'll be out of here in a few weeks' time. The work he's about to do should be considered an honor, one in which he's not only serving his country, but humanity. When his time here is done, his memory will be wiped, and he can go back home as if nothing ever happened. Cooped up alongside Luke are a few other students who are quick to give him the lay of the land. The Institute is a sort of school for those with psychic powers, and students often arrive being one of two kinds. A TP, like Kalisha, who's a telepath, they can read minds and communicate telepathically. Then there's a TK like Luke, whose telekinetic powers can move or manipulate physical objects with his mind. Their objective is to undergo a series of tests so they can graduate and move on to the second half of their journey. The Institute is split into two parts, the front half where we see Luke and the kids, and the mysterious back half. No one knows what happens there, but as the viewer we get to see the outside of this building and its chimneys with ominous black smoke. Escape is next to impossible, what with the intense patrols and security cameras. In the Institute, these cameras see everything, but out in the real world, trackers try to do the same to you. When I research episodes, I don't want every site building a file on me. That's why I use Surfshark VPN. It encrypts my traffic and keeps no logs of what I do online. Quick Connect gets me on a fast server from their 3,200 plus network in about 100 countries. And when I need to watch a show from another country, or if I'm just on vacation abroad, Surfshark VPN lets me change my location so I can access what I want. I flip on Clean Web to block a bunch of ads and trackers so I can focus on the story, not pop-ups. And it covers unlimited devices, so my phone, laptop, and TV are all protected. Let's just say that if Luke had Surfshark, Miss Sigsbee's dashboards would be a lot emptier. Grab Surfshark with my link for a special deal, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Best of all, if you use code ThinkStory, you get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. So protect your connection and tell the Institute they can't read your mind. According to the kids, the average student spends a few weeks in the first half before graduating to the back. The first step toward graduation is seeing these colored dots, which usually appear after being injected by Dr. Hendricks with a mysterious serum meant to trigger their innate psychic abilities. Once you see these dots, you can move on to the Dream Box. The Dream Box is meant to induce intense hyperreal nightmares tailored specifically for its subject. The tremendous amount of mental stress it causes can be so powerful that, in combination with the injections, it pushes kids to become both telekinetic and telepathic. A requirement to move on to the back half. But Dr. Hendricks soon learns that Luke exhibits qualities of a rare third ability. This ability is so highly valued that Dr. Hendricks and head of security, a man by the name of Stackhouse, scheme to secretly develop these powers and sell Luke off to the highest bidder. This is precognition, or the ability to see into the future. But Luke has other plans. He, along with the kids, concoct a plan to escape, and once you find out what's at stake if they fail, you'll understand just how important this mission is. It all boils down to the mysterious back half. We get our first glimpse of this with a student named Iris. Here, the students who've graduated from the front half participate in a task known as Sparkler Night. One child is chosen as the conductor to lead the others in linking their minds to complete various missions. For example, in episode 5, Iris is chosen as the conductor, where she literally takes over the body of a Russian doctor who injects the mission target with a lethal fentanyl cocktail. This is at the core of the Institute's purpose, to carry out psychic operations to destroy targets to prevent the end of the world. In episode 7, we learn that the mysterious plane crash, which resulted in the death of Senator Gavin Ramsey, was an Institute mission. These are also referred to as keyholes. Sigsbee's precogs foresaw that 9 years in the future, Senator Ramsey would be Secretary of Defense and cause a series of events leading to global nuclear war. To prevent this, they assassinated him. By Sigsbee's estimation, since its inception in the 1950s, the Institute has saved the world over 500 times, but this comes at a cost. Once a mission is complete, the conductor, having undergone enormous mental stress, becomes what the show calls gorked, or pretty much a human vegetable. This leads them to the quote-unquote recovery room, where they spend the remaining days of their lives contributing to the hum, a kind of mental droning sound that helps amplify powers. Eventually, a gorked body simply stops breathing, and the body is cremated, hence the black smoke we saw earlier outside the building. So the main philosophical and moral question of the show becomes, is it okay to kill innocent children if it means saving all of humanity? Or to put it more simply, the utilitarian argument that an action is right if it maximizes overall good. The Institute's evils reach its zenith in the show's finale. Dr. Hendricks and Stackhouse intend on killing a 10-year-old boy, Avery Dixon, by making him the next conductor. Avery is a particularly strong telepath whose powers include acting as a bridge or link between other telepaths. This is how we learn there are other institutes around the world, so there's no telling how many kids have been sacrificed for this program, especially since it's been going on since the 1950s. Avery's able to link with Luke, who managed to escape the Institute a few episodes back, and together with the other kids connected to the hum, ensure the mission fails. Their power allows them to control others, such as Tony, one of the Institute's most brutal enforcers, and have him taser himself to death. Sensing the Institute's been compromised, Stackhouse orders a lockdown and for all the children to be killed via chlorine gas. This leads to one of the biggest moments of the finale. Combining Luke and Avery's powers, they're able to open the door that trapped the kids in this tunnel, but instead of leaving with them, Avery stays behind to ensure the link with the other institutes and children holds so that the institute is destroyed for good. I get that some of these kids are gorked for good, so their deaths kind of make sense, but there are other kids here who could have escaped, which was never really explained in the show. Their combined powers levitate the building and see it crushed, killing Stackhouse in the process. We never see Avery die, but it's heavily implied he did. However, in a show all about special powers, we can never rule anything out. The writers have left room open for a second season, even though the book ends about here, and there are plenty of loose ends the show can jump off from. First, there's the upstairs, or what the staff of the Institute refer to as their superiors. This is Jeff Fahey's character, simply credited as Man on the Phone. He watched all the events of this episode via his drones and security cameras and calls for a cleanup team after the building collapses. We don't know much about him other than he's religious, has tremendous influence, has some grandkids, and wields a lot of power and resources. The fact we see other institutes around the world suggests this might not be an entirely United States-run program, but either something internationally run or even its own private enterprise developed for its own nefarious purposes. Then there's Sigsbee and Dr. Hendricks. Hendricks was left outside and there's no telling where he could go. Given his knowledge of the program, he may get picked up and reassigned or seen as a liability and have to be killed. Sigsbee, however, has other plans. She's left the Institute with a USB. This looks like it could be the USB which had Maureen's confession and evidence of the Institute's crimes. The last we saw this USB, it was in Chief Ashworth's pocket as his dead body was being pulled away. It's possible Sigsbee could hold on to this as a bargaining chip for her own life. Then there's Luke and the surviving kids. No doubt with their knowledge of the other institutes, they'll want to save the others and alert the world to this grand conspiracy. Luke asks Tim, who we haven't really talked about in this video, about what the next plan is. But because Luke can read his mind, he knows there really isn't anything planned, leaving the door open for endless possibilities in the event of a season 2. But what did you think of the Institute? Is it worthy of a second season that goes beyond the book? I want to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember,
Daddy loves you very much.